So now we will start, sir. Yeah, very pleasant, warm, happy morning to all. Um, Myself, Dr. C. Muniraj, Professor Head, Triple Department, and along with me today, Professor N. Sandhya Kumari, Professor Head, EC Department. Along with we are the coordinator of this webinar. Uh, so So I feel immense pleasure and heartily welcome today webinar talk resource person, Professor R.JayavelDirectorCentre, sir, former research director, Anna University, Chennai. Now, presently, he is a director, Center for Research, Nanotechnology, Nanoscience and Technology, Anna University, Chennai. I welcome you, Professor. Thanks for accepting our invitation and so happy to joining with us today. Uh, Next, I welcome our respectable Dr. P.S.S. Srinivasan sir, founder, principal, Knowledge Institute of Technology. Actually, this research webinar is a thought-working process of our respectable principal sir. He is a good researcher and specialization heat transfer. His publication citation and index will give us his research quality. He also will would like to give the talk on this in the topic of my research experience. He is going to share with his research experience coming days. I welcome you, sir. Thanks for joining with us today. I
Yeah,
also
happy joining.
I also welcome our vice principal, sir, and all directors and head of the departments. And also, I feel honored and welcome to all the participants from our own state and other state of the country, and my fellow colleague faculty members joining to keen part of this informative research webinar. I'm sure that you will feel enhanced with your research knowledge and idea after completing this entire 8-day webinar events. This webinar series consists of talks. Three talks were already over, are given by Professor Muthukumar from IIT Guwahati and Professor Balakrishnan from IIC Bangalore. Still, few more talks are awaiting. This webinar series poster and information already circulated among all the participants through email, different social media. We are regularly posting our registration link for each talk. Please, I request all the participants, please register for each talk. And also the e-certificate will be provided for all the talk individually. Before move to the session, let me take 2 minutes brief about our institution uniqueness and achievements. Actually, CURE was started on 2009 by the combination of 22 academicians in engineering and 7 working professionals in India and abroad, and 15 budding first graduation entrepreneurs. Within our 10-year journey, we have been achieved following recognition and awards. Our college has accredited NAC with a B++, and for our UG program, BE Electrical and Electronics Engineering, BE Mechanical Engineering, BE Computer Science, and BE ECE, has been accredited by NBA for 3 years. Our college CURE has been awarded one among the top 3 colleges across in India in AACD CA Survey Industry Linked Technical Institute. CURE has been awarded the top 15 performing college of IBM, the Great Mind Challenge on 2015. And also CURE has been awarded Silicon India Leading College of the Year 2016 by Silicon India magazine. And also CURE has been awarded Outstanding Engineering College with Academic Excellence in Tamil Nadu by Asian Education Summit Award 2015. So with this small introduction of our college, so I welcome you all once again to the webinar. I hope that you will have a great time with our Professor Jayavel sir. Thanks for giving this opportunities. Now the session is handed over to Professor Saravanan for introducing our today talk chief guest. It's over to Mr. Saravanan.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I am audible, sir?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Sir, good morning to one and all present here. It's a great honor for me to introduce our today's chief guest, Professor Dr. R.JayavelDirectorCentre, Director, Center for Nanoscience and Technology, Anna University, Chennai. Professor R.JayavelDirector is having 30 years of research experience in material science engineering and nanotechnology. He has published about 430 research papers in international peer-reviewed journals and presented more than 600 research papers in international and national conferences. Dr. Jayavel is an internationally commented research H index of 47, I-10 index of 228, and about 8,350 citations. He was designated as highly cited author in the year of 2018 by Royal Society of Chemistry, United Kingdom. Professor Jayavel has traveled widely to several countries like USA, UK, Germany, France, Italy, Norway, Sweden, Belgium, Netherlands, Greece, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Australia, Canada, Australia, Canada, Australia, New Zealand.
Audio.
Ramanan?
Sir, I am sir.
Please.
No audio.
Yes, sir. Sir, now I am audible, sir.
Yes, yes.
Uh, so Professor Jayavel was visiting professor in following institutions: Research Institute of Electronics, Suzuka University, Japan in the year 2007, University of Göttingen, Germany in the year 2010, University of Queensland, Australia in the year 2012, and University of South Australia in the year 2016. So far, 41 research scholars have obtained their PhD under the guidance of Professor Jayavel, and currently 11 research scholars are working for PhD. He has investigated several research projects worth of rupees 12 crore funded by various funding agencies like DST, UGC, AICTE, DRDO, CSR, MHRD, and DAE BRNS. He has also edited a book on advanced materials for optoelectronics. He is the editor-in-chief of the Journal of Applied Science, Applied Engineering and Sciences, published by NS&TAnna, Chennai. Professor Jayavel received several awards and recognition. Uh, to name a few: Fellow of Academy of Sciences, Chennai; MRSI Medal 2019 by Material Research Society of India; LEAP Fellowship 2019 by MHRD, Government of India; Research Excellence Award 2019 by Anna University, Chennai; Lifetime Achievement Award 2019 by Indian Spectrophysics Association; Tamil Nadu Scientist Award 2016, Active Research Award by Anna University in the year 2012, Science and Technology Agency Fellowship, Japan, during the year 1999 to 2001, Japanese Fellowship for Foreign Expert in the year 2004, Dad Sandwich Fellowship, Germany in the year 2000. Dr. Jayavel has received best presentation awards at several conferences organized by Material Research Society of India, India Spectrophysics Association, Electrochemical Society of India. He has been a member of several academic and professional bodies like Board of Studies, Academic Council, Research Advisory Council, University Research Board, and Governing Council for many institutions. He is also a member of UNESCO Chair in Materials for Energy Conversion, Saving and Storage. Dr. Jayavel had earlier served as Director, Center for Research, and Director, Center for International Affairs at Anna University, Chennai. Sir, today we are privileged to have Dr. Jayavel sir with us. On behalf of all gathered here, I welcome you, sir, for this webinar series on Everyone Can Do Quality Research. Thank you for the opportunity. Sir, now I hand over the session to Dr. Muniraj, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sir Ronan. Now the session is handed out to our principal, sir, for giving the brief.
Yes. Very good morning to all the participants. There are over 300 participants and some of them are on the YouTube. Dear participants, as a higher learning institution, higher education institution, every faculty has to do three kind of roles. One is teaching to the students and bringing up the next generation. The second part is administrative work with respect to yourself, with respect to department, with respect to college. This we are good at it as of now. But there is a third dimension called creating knowledge for future generations. That is where the research comes. So this component is also a very important component. Not that only IIC, IIT can do. Everyone can do research. Everyone can do quality research. That too. That is my humble opinion. And how to do that, what way to proceed, where to start. These are all the problems many of us we face. So in this context, we have arranged this research webinar series. KOT is a unique institution, Knowledge Institute of Technology at Salem, is created by 22 engineering college and MBA professors. All have doctorates, all have 20 to 30 years of experience, and collectively some 400 years of experience and about 150 research scholars we have collectively guided. With this experience, we wanted to put one institution in our most of our native district, Salem, in the world map. So 25th year, we want to be one among the top 500 ranked, internationally ranked institution in the ranked institution. That is with, you can look into our website that gives a lot of information on our. In 2009 itself, we have put every 5 years where we wanted to do it. And our Silver Jubilee 25th year, we want to be ranked one among the top 500. And in fact, we are marching together. And now we are at the 11th year completed, 12th year. So apart from that, when it comes to academics, we have very good faculty and we do quality academic work. So all must result in placement. So in terms of placement, last 7 batches I have rolled out, all 7 batches more than 90 again quality placements, and 2/3 of them with a salary of 3 lakhs to 18 lakhs, and around 520 the last academic year we have placed. In terms of admissions across Tamil Nadu, last 3 years, our seats were filled in all branches, OC, MBC, except civil engineering in the last year, within the top 50 across the state and top 20 across this Anna University Western Zone comprising 8 districts, and second place in the Salem Namakkal districts. So in this webinar period, we wanted to equip our own fact. So we thought that extension can be go to a wider audience. That is where one first workshop we did for OBE and NBA. Combining, we did one workshop for engineering college faculty. It is all available in our KOT YouTube channel, Info KIOT. And every day some 25, 30, 50 people are viewing. That's a happy part. And that's around 1,000 plus registered and 800 plus attended. It's a 5-day series. And then for polytechnics requested in a bilingual way, down to earth, immediately executable way, we have done one webinar series for NBA for polytechnic colleges. That really doing a great job, and every day at least I get 2-3 clarification calls for how this can be done. That is indication that it is going well. And the third part now, as I said, we have NBA. If you look into the essence of NBA, every parameter we have to score marks. That's a part, either NBA or NAG or NARF ranking. So every faculty must publish 2 research papers in scopus like in indexed journals. This is what is a mandatory requirement. If you do this, you will get full score. That's a very thumb rule. So whether it's a newly joined faculty or a faculty with a PhD and guided 10 PhDs, this has become a requirement now. We cannot say no. So my focus is that within 2 years, if we all equipped by this series of research webinars, then we can start our research today, and from at least 2 years down the line, we will have everyone will have 2 publications per year. To that level, we can reach. Keeping that in mind, we have started this research webinar series. All focus is on starting research, not on very high-end research. So that way, Dr. Muthukumar has given one talk on instrumentation, because if you want to fabricate an experimental facility for, say, either science or engineering research, instrumentation side we are not have much familiarity. So that he has given what are the types of measurements required and what are the type of instruments available and how you can use it. And he has agreed for one more talk on research methodology. And Why so many talks on research methodology? Everyone have their own perspective, so that collectively we will get a good understanding. And Dr. N. Balakrishnan is on the computational dynamics domain, and he has converted his research into a commercial software package, and it is an import substitute product and saves almost 5 to 7 crores per year to our government, Indian government, and many are DRDO and aeronautical labs are using his software now extensively. How a series of 5, 6, 10 research scholars, or you combine, how you can convert to that level. So that is a objective with which it is being planned. Today, Dr. Jayavel is there, and one more talk he will be giving. One is on research methodology, one is on writing a quality research paper, because he has got so many publications, and when his name is seen, the article will be published. So to that extent, he writes a quality paper. That's the meaning of it. So he is the right person to talk about these two. Today's talk and another talk he will be covering. I have two talks. Again, whatever being missed by this team, I will be covering. That's number one. Number two, suppose in case today we have announced and Dr. Jayavel is University VC calls and he is unable to avoid. So let us not, people have logged in such situation, let us not cancel. Keep my talk as a buffer so that any point of time I can post, deliver. So that is how I am keeping the dates not announced. So keeping that in mind, dear participants, you listen this talk, and also this available in YouTube anytime. You can refer in info KOT, and during the talk, kindly avoid typing any chat messages, because that disturbs the flow, and some of them have raised hands. We will take up the questions at the end. In between, let us not disturb, so that the flow will be there. And at the end, you can raise your hand. We will take up questions. And that is how we have planned this talk. I'm happy that Dr. Jayavel has agreed today. Coming to that, Jayavel sir is native is close to our college, and whenever he visits his native, he spends some time with us in advising us how we can do better. And really, we are benefited immense by his and very excellent academician of international repute. Royal Society recognition is not a simple thing. But he's a very down-to-earth person. Anyone can approach like a friend. He will always help. That is his humility part. Such a great personality is going to uh, help us in starting our research, starting our quality research. So with this opening note, I request Dr. Jayavel ji to start his session.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, one and all. Are my slides visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So good morning to all the participants, respected principal and my good friend, Professor Dr. PSS, Dr. Rajendran, Dr. Muniraj, Dr. Saravanan, and all my good friends in KAOT. And as it was introduced by the principal, I am son of the soil of the college, KAOT. And in fact, this is almost 4 months for me to visit Salem, and this is occasion to meet many of our friends, at least through video. And in fact, I'm very much related to,
Professor, sorry for the interruption. You have muted your video, or?
Yes, you want me to start the video? It's okay.
Yeah. People can see.
Right.
Yeah.
So, as introduced by the principal, that I'm going to give 2 lectures, and today lecture will be focused on the innovative research, which is the need of the hour. And my second lecture would be on writing effective research papers with good citations. So with this background, let me just move on to my topic of about another 60 minutes or so. So I am sure that you all agree with me that research and innovation has become an important component of academic excellence. And this is true for applicable for any institution, or it's for an organization, or it's for an individual researcher also. So today, whatever they do research, And the research and innovation are very highly interconnected, because you know that innovation leads to technology or products, and innovation is derived from the knowledge which we attain by doing experiments or by gaining knowledge. And this knowledge is gained through research. And of course, the research is supported by money, and money comes from technology. So that is the interlinking which we are talking about today. And when we do want to do the innovative research, there are plenty of opportunities, especially for the youngsters, because the institutions like KIOT has developed infrastructure in such a way that every student, whether they are in undergraduate or postgraduate students, so they will be able to spend some time on innovative ideas and creative concepts. And those ideas can be transformed to products or a prototype, and whether it can be a value addition for the existing technology or the technology evolution in a new scenario. So all these things are possible provided we have the real approach for innovative research. So with this background, let me just start with a few introduction about the innovative research, which the research ideas which we try to attain from our experience, and then I'll slowly take it to you the innovative part of the research program. So basically, when we talk about the scientific research, so the scientific research is divided into three major categories. Of course, there are some subdivisions which I don't want to discuss further. So this is basically the basic research. And then from basic research, move on to applied research by demonstrating some applications. And once you optimize the application aspects, then it is a kind of integral of this application applied research to translation research. So translation research leads to the products or technology development. And from applied research to translation research, then you have the innovative part which is coming. So in order to have this innovation, basically the innovation can be done in many ways. And but there are a few thumb rules for conducting innovative research. So one is the authority. So the authority means that whatever the innovation you do, so you become the authority for that, and then you decide about the the value of these kind of innovations. And of course, any innovation should have a very clear objectivity, and this objectivity is more important to cater to the needs of different domains of domain applications. And of course, when we do the innovative research, cost is the major factor. The cost should be very competitive compared to the existing technology or existing product which is available in the market in a commercial scale, or it can be a value addition for the technology or the innovation which we made from the laboratory scale. And the innovation also should have the wide coverage, because we cannot do the innovation for focusing on a particular industry, for particular product or particular section of industries. So the innovation should have a wide coverage, essentially to meet the societal needs. That is what we do the innovative research. And basically, when you talk about any kind of research, a piece of research has a multi dimensions. Okay, so basically the innovation research is the systematic analysis or ordered structure of analysis, and it has some kind of logical issues where we do the process to evaluate the conclusion drawn, or sometimes it also becomes very empirical collection of data with the facts and experiments, and on which to base the decisions. Okay, so this is a kind of things which can be gained through experience. So when we have the data or the experiments done, then we will be able to make a decision out of this. Or sometimes we have to validate this kind of data to get the real applications, and then it can be effectively used for some technology. And many a time the research becomes very reductive, where the individual events or the data are used to establish very general relations. Or sometimes the general relations can be expanded to the large scale for the industrial sector. And sometimes this is also replicable, where the process is recorded or observed so that the findings and procedure can be tested again. This is for the revalidation purpose or reproducibility of the any research component. So these are the major components of a good research, which definitely leads to innovative research. And this innovative research covers all these aspects which we have discussed. So I'll just give a glimpses of what is the major difference between the basic research and applied research. So basic research is basically start with the theoretical hypothesis or theoretical concepts, which is of more invasive and mostly the laboratory confined to the laboratory based or the experimental based, and which is very tightly controlled. It will not have too much of expansion to the society or to the industries. And many a time the basic research lacks very external validity. That is what it is confined with very for small domain of the laboratory scale. And most of the theoretical research or the basic research is focused on mechanism. Okay, the mechanism has already been derived or some mechanism can be modified, and then those things can be expanded essentially to meet with to meet the experimental expectation or experimental concepts. And most of the time the theoretical ideas or basic research is of more reductionism, right? So there is a little hope for expansion. So whenever we do the research, and we insist that every research should be done at least in a large scale of around 10 years or 15 years, so that we will be able to make a very productive outcome out of the research. And for that, normally, even any research organizations, they will have a kind of thrust areas. They will identify the thrust areas. And if you look into the Indian scenario, we have the system of changing the thrust areas at least every 5 years. And if you just look into the developed countries where they have the system where any research which is started today will be easily taken into for 10 years to 15 years, and they will have a system of what is called a rolling grant. And this kind of rolling grant will ensure that the continuity of the research, and until we reach a destination where we come out with the technology or we come out with a product which is viable or worth for taking for the commercial scale. So that is what we do. But the basic research is a very discrete level where we do research for 1 or 2 years, or if you're PhD students, they'll just focus the research for 3 or 4 years until they complete their degree. And then there will be abrupt, stop in this kind of content. The continuity is very limited in this case of basic research. But the applied research has its own advantages where we can get very quick answers, especially for prototype devices or these kind of things, and is less invasive. And most of the applied research is field-based, so that we will be able to gain more over the knowledge and the working principles, and also the applicability of this applied research. And most of the time, this is very loosely controlled. There is a lot of scope for expansion and reproducibility, and also that kind of parallel activities taken by many groups across the world, across the country, so that we'll be able to get more value addition for our research which we have done. And the applied research is very externally valid, and wherever we wanted to reproduce that, that should be there. Then they have to properly develop the infrastructure for that. And most of the experimental research or applied research is focused on an effect, and this effect leads to technology evolution. And of course, there is a reductionism in this case of applied research. So this is the base for any kind of innovative research or the translation research. We focus on this. So from applied research, it is easy for any technology to be taken into industries or large scale scaling up process. So I'll just give only 2 examples about this basic research, because in fact, next week also I will be going to touch some of these aspects. So in the basic research, we have what is called a deductive approach, where we'll start with a theory. The theory can be age old, it can be a century old theory or a few decades old theory. And from this theory, most of the time the postulates are evolved, and then these postulates leads to the replication of results, which leads to the formulation of a law, and then which takes you to define some kind of hypothesis. And this hypothesis can be compared with reality or the experimental validation kind of thing. And the other approach is the inductive approach. The inductive approach, we start with the observations. So these observations are basically the experimental based observations, and these observations can be used to define some kind of hypothesis, and this hypothesis can together make a general explanation based on a concept, and then this is used to develop some kind of theory. So that is what we have, the integration of theory and experiments, where we start from the observations, especially the experimental observations, and then moving towards theoretical concepts, which will be based for many of the ideas which can be developed based on a particular concepts, or it can be a standard theory worldwide applicable for a variety of purposes. So with this, then I'll just move on to the applied research. Applied research, basically, as I said, it is more expandable with less reductionism, so that there is a plenty of opportunities for expansion. And this applied research design involves three categories. One is the analytical research, another one is descriptive research, another one is experimental research. So the analytical research start with some kind of reviews, and these reviews are very, very essential in order to have this kind of demonstration of technology, because many a time the reviews will have a lot of open research problems. So especially for beginners who wanted to take up research in a particular domain, so it is very effective, I mean, essential to have some of the reviews which has been written by many famous professors or industrialists who has put a lot of experience in their product development. And those reviews can be very carefully think, and then we can do some kind of meta-analysis with the reviews to focus on something very useful for the society. Then the second category is the philosophical research, which, as I told you, it can be a part of research methodology, or sometimes it also becomes very historical, because there are so many traditional technologies which are all age old, but still we follow those kind of things. And when we have the pandemic like now, which what we are facing, and sometimes these all will have a very effective input for to doing this kind of analytical research. And then second part is the descriptive. The descriptive research starts with a lot of case studies, and case studies normally we do when we start any activity towards a particular product development. And we also have a survey. The survey can be very expensive, covering wide range of audience or the users. Okay, so then sometimes this becomes a cross-sectional, become a case study and survey. Then we can combine these two, and then make a longitudinal expansion, and then we try to correlate this kind of things, so that we can have a database, and this database will be very useful for the future generations. Okay, so this kind of descriptive research is also focused, but there is a very limited scope for this, because we cannot have all this descriptive research for a particular domain. So it has to work across domains, so that the database generation or this kind of the library database would be very appropriate for this kind of research. So the third design is about the experimental research. The experimental research starts with the pre-design of experiments with based on our experience or based on our expertise, in-house expertise. Then we can move through the quasi-design. For example, if you wanted to have some kind of collaboration with industries or the large-scale users, then we can go for quasi-designs, and then quasi-designs can be taken to true designs. That is actually where our experimental research will have the more value here. And we can also do some kind of statistical designs, and which can be supported for the data which we collect from this experimental research, and also to have this kind of validation for this data. So basically what we do, the analytical research, we do the reviews, and the reviews are very critical of the account of person understanding of the concepts and ideas. And meta-analysis is the quantitative method of the review, where we can try to correlate some kind of concepts which has been discussed, and also what we're observing today, because there would have been multifold expansion in the ideas or concepts which was created long back, and those kind of things can be quantitatively analyzed through this meta-analysis. And of course, the historical research, as I told, which is mostly of secondary sources to document the past events, to preserve the things, or to maintain the database. And philosophical research is organizing the existing evidence into a comprehensive theoretical model so that it can be useful for as future generations. The second, the descriptive part, as I told you, this starts with the case study and then the survey. The survey can be, the cross-sectional survey, longitudinal survey, the relationship between the variables. And the variables we can be, it can be expandable like, X, Y, Z. And then when we define this kind of variables, we can just analyze where the variables X and Y, whether X does the increase of Y or Y does the increase of X, or alternatively with a third variable, and whether the third variable has the influence on both X and Y. And these are some of the analysis we do while looking at the survey. And then, as I said, the survey can be localized, or it can be a national survey, or it can be an international survey if you have the proper sources where we can do that. So all these things are basically to build our knowledge, domain knowledge in a particular area. And when we build the domain knowledge, then we can very confidently move on to the experimental research. And the experimental research, as I said, involved a direct assessment of how one variable influences the other with our own, whether it's the instrumentation part or it's analysis part or it's a kind of, transformational part. And this allows the establishment of the causality, and causality sometimes, right, we can do some kind of accidental discoveries also. And all these extraneous variables must be held constant while a single variable is manipulated in the effect method. And this gives you the more authenticity or more confidence what you are doing in the experimental design. As I said, the experimental design goes like this, from starting from pre-experimental to quasi-experimental and true experimental research. So with this, then if you are very confident on this kind of things, then we move on to the translational research. And the translational research is a driving force for innovation. Okay, so it is basically the integration of basic and applied research to design a product. And how to integrate the basic research and applied research. For example, if you have an idea or develop a concept towards a basic research, and if you know some concepts and ideas, you try to demonstrate something with this concept and ideas, that is basically an applied research. And if you demonstrate something experimentally, or if you design some prototypes or products, and try to understand the concept and ideas behind the mechanism or behind the working principle of this product, then that becomes the basic research. Okay, so it is an integration of basic and applied research to design a prototype. So this really means what is called the translational research. So translation research is a holistic approach where it will have a sustainable impact on the society, because we are focusing on very specific products. And this translation research has a wide coverage. For example, we have the translation research in from clinical research to healthcare sectors, or we can think of expandables in terms of technology or technology evolution, technology upgradation, value addition for the technology, or now there are a lot of emerging fields like climate change, energy, environment. So in all these areas, we have the transformational research, which has the different meaning on that. Okay, so when we talk about the translational research, the most thing is about the field test, which is integrated with your basic research, and the adapted practice, which is an experimental research. So we try to combine these two. And of course, this needs a lot of stakeholders, from students to mentors, because many a time the students are very open-minded. Okay, so some of them are multiple thinking or multiple ideas, and those kind of ideas has to be shaped in a proper way, and that can be done by mentors. And these mentors can work based on some kind of focused research or the funding from organizations or industries. And so therefore it involves multiple stakeholders, where we take the combined effort of all these stakeholders, and then try to mingle the experimental and basic research, and then reach the translational research. And the translational research, that interns is a very important component, because most of the students, they will be more inclined to academic. At the same time, if they wanted to have the translation research, they'll look for the opportunities in terms of interns in a industry or organization. So now we have a lot of opportunities to do the interns in every summer, or some of the institutions, they also have explicit time space for doing this kind of interns. And of course, when we have this kind of translational research, we also closely work with communities or society, because it is basically the region-based, or it's domain-based, where we look into the localized problems or societal needs, and therefore it's also better to involve the community when we do the translation research. So with this, as I told, that the main driving force for the translation research is the innovation. And so let us just discuss some of the aspects of innovative research here. So basically, innovation is the complex and challenging process. Okay, and it is not that easy thing where everybody can innovate, whether we have the sufficient experimental knowledge or sufficient experience in handling specific equipment or specific infrastructure. And this is innovation is basically the ability to respond to change in the environment. And this is also another aspect of learning to adopt that is more important. Okay, so the technology keeps on enhancing. The technologies keeps on upgraded, right? So unless we have the habit of learning to adapt or learning to environment or respond to the environment, then it will be very difficult to fit into the innovative research. And basically, this innovative research starts with ideas. Okay, so the ideas are very, as I said, very wide dimensions, and these ideas will have motivation, creativity, or knowledge, collaboration, right? So sometimes these ideas can be, consolidated in such a way that we think of very rational thinking or radical thinking in a particular aspect. And this thinking sometimes gives very good ideas, because when we talk about the research, thinking is more appropriate than doing. Okay, so if you have some ideas or concepts and things, this kind of ideas has to be properly developed in terms of products. For that, we have to just train and attempt. It can be a blind trying, okay, without any base, or we can just do it by the experience of trying, by multiple times, and then do it again, then finally you just get the success. Okay, so based on this success, you have the feedback, and then feedback will give you the different attempts or different dimensions, and you can also develop your own multiple ideas, so that the success can be kind of multifunctional systems. So as I said, the innovation is a very small component for a product design or development, or the industrial scale applicability. And it has to be integrated with the research, and then research should have a very clear vision, and then we have to work out the strategy. Then strategy is to follow by growth, and then growth leads to goals. And for all these things, we need what is called the teamwork. Okay, so this is the complexity of the innovative research, where it has to start from then ideas to concepts, followed with the research, very definite methodology. And in order to be more efficient in the innovative research, and each and every component will have its own role to play, right? So that is what the innovative technology or innovative research is taken to the translational state. And if you just really look into the innovative ideas, there are different types of innovation. The innovation in terms of product development, in terms of process optimization, in terms of service providing for the multiple or multidimensional scale, and also innovation to develop the very new business model. And all these types of innovations are directly related to society or industry or technology evolution. Okay, so for example, the products, you can just think of any kind of products in the advanced level, whether it's a home appliances or it is useful for advanced cutting edge technologies like space technology, defense technology, or information technology. Process optimization, which also directly linked to your business model, where you have a lot of optimization process, which is done to have the business in optimized scale. And all these innovations are very inbuilt. Okay, so therefore we have very definite, very distinguished definitions for this kind of 4 different forms of innovation. So if you just look into the technology driven or the technology equipment in terms of the market potential, so the innovations are again classified into 4 different categories, and this is actually the incremental innovation where there will be a gradual continuous improvement on existing products and services. And this is mostly practiced in the conventional industries where they practice the technology for many decades. And even if they wanted to have some kind of changes, and it is not easily adopted at the product level because they don't want to basically take a risk. So they'll just gradually and continuously improve upon the incremental aspects. And for sustaining the market, then there is an innovation linked to the sustainability. And this sustaining innovation is a kind of significant improvement on a product that aims to sustain the position in an existing market. Okay, so there is actually the market-driven innovation, which goes from the incremental level to the sustained level. And then other case is the radical innovation. The radical innovation is actually the technological breakthrough that transforms the industries, often creates a new market. So it is applicable to especially the startup companies or the most of the angel investors. They look into this kind of radical changes in the technology, because every technology which is demonstrated on the grassroots level can sustain for especially for about 10 years, for example. So, the mobile technology or the communication technology, every 10 years we see that, the drastic improvement in the utility and also in the application aspects. So therefore, those kind of things need a real radical innovation where the technology's breakthrough can be driven and every product can be, new product when it reaches the market, so that it is directly beneficial to the society. And sometimes the innovation is also descriptive. For example, the technology or a new business model that disturbs the existing model. And most of the technology, if it is a new version is introduced, obviously the previous version has to be discarded. And those kind of descriptive innovation is also possible, but these are all technology driven. Unless you have the new technology coming in or the new ideas practiced, we cannot realize this kind of radical innovation or descriptive innovation. And the descriptive innovation is also sometimes value addition, and which is also directly related to the risk factor. And because we cannot rely upon the future of this kind of technology. There are a lot of, in fact, technologies which are demonstrated at the laboratory scale or the prototype level, but it failed to take the market lead because of some of the failures in this. So these kind of innovative ideas have a wide coverage, especially for the market-driven innovation, whether it's an incremental to sustaining level or radical to descriptive level. Okay, so each category, because for example, if you take the incremental innovation, so we have innovation 1.0 or 1.0, which is basically starts with an idea, or the product idea is converted into product, and then product is linked to the marketing potential, right? So this innovation 1.0 starts with the problem identification or problem recognition. Then it is combined with the problem solving, which is mostly of inventional type. And so this problem solving concept can be integrated with the solution exploitation, and this solution exploitation can lead to products or innovation, and this innovation can be directly taken to the market. Okay, so the famous quote is like Thomas Alva Edison, where anything that won't sell, I don't want to invent. So that is the kind of concept which is linked to innovation 1.0, where it deals with only very limited domains like ideas, products, and selling. and it will not have an expandability, it will not have a wide coverage, and also many a time these products are not very competitive enough with the competitive technology which is developed elsewhere. So therefore, the second stage of incremental innovation, we call it as the innovation 2.0, where we start with ideas, and then ideas are shared with the customers, and then to get the feedback from the customers, then we can improve upon the performance, and then do the real market test, and then keep refining the business model, especially looking at the possibility of value addition. So therefore, this is actually a very good model for applicable for all industries, and we can have this kind of concept-based business plan, and this can be taken to the product development, and then product development involves kind of A to Z testing, and then after the proper testing and validation, we can go for launching. Okay, so this is actually describes the rationale of how the organization creates, delivers, and captures the value, especially the market driven innovations. And this innovation 2.0 is related to customers and infrastructure available for your product development and testing, and the offers which taken to the users, and of course the financial viability, because you deal with the different kinds of stakeholders. So therefore, the financial viability is also another important factor to be um, uh, followed in the innovation 2.0. And move from the innovation 2.0, then we have what is called innovation 3.0. And this innovation 3.0 is actually starts from those ideas, and then ideas leads to collaboration, because the collaboration is very important for the dissemination of knowledge. Okay, so to solve the problems or troubleshooting at every stage, whether the collaboration or the things can be local collaboration, or institution level collaboration, or global collaboration. And of course, it should be followed by the proper testing and validation, and then redefine the global market test, and refine, then build the ecosystem, and to have the potential market solution. So that is what the innovation 3.0 goes from ideas to collaboration, collaboration followed by testing, redefining, then global market test, then refine the product in such a way it meets with the global market test. And then in order to have this, we have to have a proper building ecosystem. So this innovation 3.0 is the existing model which is applicable to all industries, most of the industries where they do the innovative products, and then they become very sustainable in the competitive market. Whether it's very technology, as I said, the technology upgradation or value addition for the existing technology, everywhere we have to have the very conducive ecosystem for this innovation. So we'll just discuss some of the innovation ecosystems where the new ideas comes from everywhere. Right? It is very common to, especially for the academic institutions, as I said, whether it's undergraduate students or postgraduate or young faculty or very experienced faculty. So the innovation comes from everywhere. So therefore, an institution or an organization should have at least 24/7 innovation hub, where students across the institution can just step in without any hindrance or without any restrictions, so that they will be able to demonstrate their ideas. And we should have the environment in such a way that learning opportunities to nurture hands-on skill development. That is linked with the infrastructure. So obviously the infrastructure should be very sufficient to have this kind of practice. And the promotion of workplace diversity. So this also involves the collaboration across departments or disciplines, so that the complex problems can be solved by proper collaborative research. And building networks and mentors. That is, as I said, the mentors play a very major role in shaping the young minds towards innovative ideas and creative concepts. So therefore, the building network is also another important. The network can be within the industries or within the academia or within the business models or within the market-driven potential. All these things has to be properly networked. so that they will have. And then the academic research and research should have the proper network with the business, so that we will be able to cope up with the latest developments happening in the business, so that the academic and research can be taken from hand to hand. And the open and risk-taking culture. This is another important factor which nurtures the innovative ideas. And so, for example, as I said, the young minds will have a lot of open ideas. So, and every time when it just comes to the uh, um, technology level, they will just look into the risk factors in that. So these kind of things has to be nullified or taken care, and we have to have a culture of this open research problem. And the public-private communication is also very important to trigger the innovation. Okay, and of course, funding is very important. And funding from angel investors, or funding from organizations, or funding from institutions, or funding through smart capital. So all these things are a kind of secured environment for the innovative ideas. Okay, so therefore, whenever we have some idea and when we wanted to take it to the products, we immediately look into the financial viability, right? So this financial viability is basically depends on the environment or the background of the individual, whether they can sustain these things and we can have a tolerance with respect to the fluctuations in the funding situation. And another important thing is the very stable and supportive regulatory environments. So this is very important, because whether we go for product development, or we go for patents, or IPR rights, all these things are interconnected. So we have to have a very stable and supportive regulatory environment, so that whatever the innovation will do will return back some kind of gain for the inventor, right? So if somebody does something, and if that is taken by somebody without any protective measures, then obviously they will lose the confidence, and then they will not have much interest to do the innovative ideas. And these are all some of the selective innovative ecosystem for an organization or an institution. And so those kind of things can be very well addressed in order to motivate the innovative research. And the innovative culture, the innovation culture is also another important thing. As I said, the most important thing is the ideas. And once you have the idea, then you have to have the commitment, right? So the commitment to put the ideas for innovation. And of course, you have to have a humor. This humor comes from the individual attitude. And so therefore, this kind of attitude will also become the part of the innovation culture. Of course, you have to have the freedom to decide on your own. And many a time, the students will have some kind of open ideas, and there will be a restriction in terms of its confined with their curriculum, or their laboratory courses, or practical courses they do. And they sometimes feel it is insecure if they move far away from their curriculum design and these things. And those kind of freedom should be always there for students. And also it is applicable for industries. And industries, if they are very focused in a particular product, and if some individual has some kind of idea for diversified technology, if there is a constraints, and they will not be able to put their ideas in an innovative culture. So therefore, the freedom is another thing. And as I said, the risk factor is also another important hurdle, where many of these youngsters, young minds, so they have the innovation ideas, everything, but because of this risk factor, they sometimes fail in capitalizing those kind of ideas. So therefore, when there are some kind of innovation barriers, and these barriers are inbuilt, with the individual. As I said, the ecosystem should have address all these issues. For example, if an individual thinks that do not know anything about the idea or something, how to go about, or how to take up this one, whether it is viable, or whether it is acceptable for the society, or whether it will give a productive result. All this ambiguity will also have some kind of barrier towards innovation. And if they have the negative attitude like I will not be able to do it or I cannot do it, and those kind of things also have the negative ideas for the innovation. And if they are not very much committed or not willing to take up the innovative ideas, obviously they cannot succeed anything towards the innovation. And if you don't have freedom, or if you are not allowed to do whatever you want to do, then it will also have some kind of barriers in there. Okay. And just looking into the risk factors, as I said, we have very lot of standing examples. For example, Bill Gates says that success is the losing teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking they can't lose. Okay. And if you are not failing every year now and there, and it is a sign of you are not doing anything very innovative. These are all something which we have to learn, and then take a risk of getting into the innovative ideas. And whether you lose the time or you lose your confidence, doesn't matter. That every loss will have a gain by knowing something very different. And then you will have a different kinds of platforms where you can show your capability and thinking. So that is what we have to tackle with this kind of innovation barriers, so to get success through your ideas and concepts. This is actually the example for the freedom, right? As I said, whether it's an institution or a department or a mentor, that individuals will have the freedom to work on their own choices. For example, even if you take industries, the Google has the practice of allowing their engineers to allocate 20% of the time working on any product or idea of their own choice. It is nothing to do with the product which the industry is developing or the project which is undergoing under this particular domain, but they will have a very free mind to think something out of the box, and then they'll have some kind of innovative ideas product. Like 3Ms have a special name called Friday time, or at least 15% of that working time can allocated for pursuing in independent projects, which is not very specific with respect to the product from 3M technologies. These are all some kind of good industrial practices, which is followed by even industrial giants. But when it comes to the academic institutions, that students should not have a constraint. For example, we have when I was a director of research, we used to have a lot of representation from the students. For example, if a department has some kind of infrastructure, all the students are forced to do their project within the department, and they will have a minimum scope to expand their ideas or concepts in a external environment. So these are all something which has to be inculcated in a young mind, so that they will have an open mind, and they will also do a lot of ideas on their own, and then that will be very productive. And another interesting approach is the innovative approach or the interdisciplinary approach. And the interdisciplinary approach leads to the very inherent complexity of the nature and society. And this also drives to explore the research problem at the interfaces of discipline, whether it's civil engineering or mechanical engineering or biotechnology. For example, the civil engineering can combine with mechanical engineering to solve some problems in thermodynamics, or the biotechnology people and can have an interaction with mechanical engineering to work on some kind of biomechanics. And these are all cross-disciplinary or interdisciplinary areas where there are a lot of room for the innovative research, which can happen across the disciplines or across the things. And these also need to solve the societal problems. And many a time the interdisciplinary approach also stimulates of the generative technologies, new ideas. The advantage of the interdisciplinary approach is the critical thinking and the communication with peers, creativity at the large scale, pedagogy towards innovation, and to develop the proper methodology. These are all some of the advantages of going for the interdisciplinary approach, and these kind of approaches are definitely useful for the innovative development. This is something about the innovation in the engineering research and technology, and I'm sure that many of you are very familiar with these kind of areas, And these have a lot of potential for innovation, whether starting from the smart manufacturing, additive manufacturing, 3D printing, autonomous vehicles, robotics, UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, and the emerging areas like data science, artificial intelligence, system architecture, blockchain, machine learning, networking, communication. So if you take every field, that is what that innovation is everywhere. Innovation comes from everywhere, right? So there is no restriction, whatever the field you are working, and there are plenty of opportunities to do innovative research, whether it's a smart grids or power transmission, high voltage, fermentation technology, downstream processing in chemical engineering, bioprocessing, proteomics, genomics in biotechnology. And the world now today meet very major challenges in terms of energy, environment, and healthcare. So anything we do towards this kind of energy, environment, healthcare, then they can get a lot of innovative ideas and innovative technology. And this is not the limited areas. You can have the scope for expansion in future. And whatever the areas you do work, as the principal is telling, the computational fluid dynamics, one of the areas where it is applicable to across very fields. So there are a lot of innovation which can be driven through, where we can have many ideas. And the basic skills which is required for innovation is basically the intellectual capability. And this capability is gained through experience or your classroom learning or practical courses or some kind of industrial exposure. So to develop your intellectual capability, independent thinking is very important, so that you can just put your ideas and minds then as a working capital. And cognitive skills, which is also now very important to have this kind of innovation. And imaginative and innovative ideas, which is also very essential for the innovation to happen. Creativity and ingenuity is again especially for the young students, and these kind of capabilities inbuilt in their mind. So if you are able to mentor them properly, if you trigger their ideas and creativity, then they will be explored in a large scale. And the interdisciplinary approach, I already discussed about the essentials of this interdisciplinary approach. And out-of-box thinking, or rational thinking, or lateral thinking. So all these things are basically the essential qualities of innovative ideas. And the most important thing is the entrepreneurial mindset. Okay, so whatever we do, then we have to aim in a very big way, that it has to reach the society, or it has to go to the commercial scale, or it has to support the existing technology. Those kind of mindset will always trigger the innovation. And above all, the audacious dream, which if we have then individuals, so those kind of audacious dream, then definitely they will definitely success in the kind of innovations. So with this, I'll just give some of the opportunities which is available for innovation. As I said, the innovation can be a product development, a prototype demonstration, or an idea to have the existing technology, have the value addition, or the idea which can have the technology evolution in a large scale. And all these things are happening everywhere. And there are many organizations or many institutions which support this kind of innovation. For example, if you have the Tamil Nadu state, we have Tamil Nadu Innovative Initiatives, where they give a lot of funding for innovative ideas. Then we have the National Innovation Council, and these also have multitude of agendas in developing the innovation technology or innovation ideas. And under the National Innovation Council, we have the National Innovation Foundation, which comes under the Department of Science and Technology. Then Atal Innovation Mission, which comes under the Niti Aayog. And so these kind of organizations, they always keep on supporting the innovative ideas in a large scale innovation or small scale innovation. Even the National Innovation Foundation also looks into the innovation from the school level. Okay, so they will give very proper recognition for those kind of innovation. Then we have the National Research Development Corporation under the Department of Science and Scientific and Industrial Research under the Ministry of Science and Technology. And so this organization gives an annual National Innovation Award, focusing the concept of from sitting over an idea to standing ovation for that. So those kind of national awards are very much attractive for the youngsters, and so they can have these kind of things in mind, so that they can get equip themselves to get these kind of awards, which is very rewarding. The National Innovation Award carries around very close to 2 lakh rupees. And the National Societal Innovation Award, I think it's 2 to 3 lakh. And there is a National Budding Innovative Awards. And these awards are a real motivation for the youngsters. So they have a lot of opportunities to sell their ideas, to demonstrate their ideas, to get their ideas recognized by this kind of national awards or national recognitions. So finally, I'll just some of the recent trends where we talk about the innovative ideas or creative concept where it gets accepted. For example, if you look into the pre-industrial revolution era, where those kind of industries on those days were called as the labor-intensive industries. For an industry which has around 50 laborers, those industries are called as the small industries. Or if the industry is having 500 laborers or workers, then those industries were called as big industries. So then came as what is called capital intensive industries. That is because of the investment or the capital investment they made for the industry scale. And now what we are realizing is what is called the knowledge industry intensive industries. And these knowledge industry industries are basically investing in human capital. And where you can just you would have read in the news that one or two individuals from the same class or same batch, they join together and then they build these kind of startup companies, and those kind of companies are increasing in a very exponential way. So which is basically linked with this knowledge economy or knowledge society. And we have a lot of schemes now to encourage this kind of knowledge intensive industries. Or we have the government of India established schemes like the Startup India, Make in India. They also organize different kinds of hackathons in very focused areas, and those kind of hackathons are very attractive for the young students to showcase their innovative ideas or the platforms, so that we can have a real use of this kind of innovation for this society. And just to summarize, we know that education is the investment for the society, but innovation is the investment for engineers, and the engineering research is the engine for innovation. Okay, so with this motive, I hope you all appreciate with this very great the quote, which says that the great minds always discuss about the ideas, and the average minds discuss about the events, whether it is a past event or future event. Only small minds talk about discuss the people, the others' affairs. So this was the famous quote by the former First Lady of the US, Eleanor Roosevelt. So I wish that the young students or the young participants today should have this first category of very great minds to discuss about the ideas and innovations, and they can come up with their career with very fruitful innovative ideas and creative concepts. So with this, let me thank every one of you. And again, I thank KIOT and also organizers for inviting me for this webinar. And I'll be happy to clarify if you have any clarifications or doubts in this. Thank you very much again.
So thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving a wonderful information on innovative research.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. So now this forum is handed over to that participants. So please, if you have any clarification, please type your question in your chat box.
Okay, dear participants, if you have any queries, clarifications, you can type in the chat box. We'll take up it one by one. And you can also raise your hand so that we will take you direct questions. In the meantime, let me add a question to you.
Yes, sir.
A question to Jayavel sir.
Yeah.
Sir, it's a very nice talk. In fact, many of us are thinking of starting. While starting itself, think from innovative and final product perspective. That will definitely in the need of the hour, because the doing a research and publication part is over. Now we move to next stage. That's how the world has moved, and while choosing a problem, you don't think only from a publication point of view,
Yeah.
but also from a uh, innovation and product point of
Product
view.
based. Yes, yes.
At this moment, I like to add one small point, Professor.
Sure.
Dr. Sivadhanu Pillai, we have invited for a talk about some 5 years back, and he was narrating how Abdul Kalam was innovative in finalizing certain thing.
Yeah.
Very valuable information. I still value very high. That is almost at that point, some period of time. I think Indira Gandhi period or Rajiv Gandhi period. He said some period, and the both DRDO laboratories and the aerospace all were asked to prepare 10 years research map, so that where we want to be 10 years after, like that, one blueprint you have to make. And one full day, even the PM was sitting, and the galaxy of some 100 experts were there, and these experts are presented. So after listening some 6 hours of talk, and many said, okay, this we find something, but Dr. Kalam said, I have one small doubt. If you clarify that, I will approve. Otherwise, I have my own reservations on it. See, there are two countries. One is America and another is Russia. And what current technology America and Russia has now, you said we will take 10 years to prepare these technologies to their level. But in 10 years down the line, both America and Russia will advance their technologies to next level.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you follow this method, we'll be always 10 years behind. So now we are starting from scratch. So
Yeah.
start that. What technology America will have 10 years from now? What technology Russia will have 10 years from now? That technology are better than them. If you guess and if you predict and complete represent this roadmap, keeping that in mind. If you could able to do that, then we'll be one of these superpower. Otherwise, we'll be always a follower.
Yeah.
So that I thought that I always care what also we think that way, not that what IIT is doing, what Anna University is doing,
Yeah.
what IIT, Anna University, MIT 10 years down the line they may do. Let me try here. That's how we always think. That way, you said don't be complacent with just publishing and citation. Think of something ahead. So that way, it's a really a wonderful talk, and we all have enjoyed.
Yeah.
And
In fact, as you know, the duplication was those gone are the days where we try to duplicate the technology from outside. And so now everything is basically focusing on indigenous development, right? It is, can be regional based or national based or localized, local requirement based. So that is what we will be able to demonstrate our capability. That Dr. Kalam was very particular that you don't have to bring Himalayas to to your place. You just built an Himalaya in your own place and then compete with the system. That is what the indigenous technology is always encouraging the indigenous technology. And even I used to have his talk like when we refer something outside the country, even developed country, you don't appreciate actually. So what is your strength? What is your requirement? What is your ideas in that? So always that is what that Pura was the main thing, that the provision of urban communities in rural areas. So that is what he built that one, and that was the concept where they got it. Yeah. Yes.
Yes, sir. There is a question from Madam Mani Meghale from PhD iTech.
Yeah.
Sir, this is a very specific query.
Yeah.
If an institution is doing a good is doing good in teaching learning,
yeah,
And if PG courses are not there, but significant amount of research activities are going on. In that case, is it possible to apply for multidisciplinary research center recognition in Anna University?
Yeah, actually, no, because since I moved out of the research, I can only tell you the existing
Suggestive.
policy. Because when I was the director of research, I only just started the interdisciplinary concept of combining the electrical, electronics, and computer science, IT, and this kind of thing. So basically, the concept of giving research center to the only PG department was the UGC norm. Somehow the UGC said that research center has to be given only for the PG institutions or the PG departments. But when doing research or getting projects, there is absolutely no barrier for that. That's what I said. Most of the undergraduate students are more productive. They are very innovative. So those kind of undergraduate students can be focused, or we can mentor them, we can support them all possible ways. For that, industries are now coming up in a very big way. You don't have to depend on the research center affiliated recognized by Anna University or research grant from the government organizations. That is one part. But those kind of young students, if they have an innovative idea or creative concepts, and those things can be taken to the industrial partners or industries, we have to have the mechanism to attract the industries. And then industries are willing to take up and support those kind of things. Or you can even directly write to the DST where they are the National Innovation Foundation. So they will even a school boy or school girl, if they do some kind of innovation, they can get a direct funding from the National Innovation Mission or even Atal Innovation Mission kind of thing. But as far as the Anna University is concerned, they follow the rules that the research center has to be given only for the PG departments. So they insist on the PG. But when we have the PG courses across the departments in a particular faculty, that very much comes under the interdisciplinary category. That is not an issue. But at least two departments should have research PG programs and approved supervisors. Those kind of norms are still applicable.
Thank you, Professor. I think those specific questions, I think it is better to address to current director of research. So we'll take a more generic question. Sir, it is from Arts and Science Background College. One Dr. Srinivasan has asked this question. Sir, we are two-year-old life science department. We have some basic academic labs established. But not have advanced facilities. How to inculcate research attitude among faculties under such circumstances?
Yeah, that's what actually research has to come from the inbuilt. It is not you cannot force somebody to do research. Research should be done as a passion. It is not a compulsion, right? So what we can do is we can just motivate them, or we can encourage them to what are the opportunities or what are the avenues where we get the research, right? For example, if we do an university system, we always work for at least 15 to 16 hours per day, whether you sit at home or you sit in the laboratory or you just go to the lab and then do the data collection. And we engage them ourselves in a very multi-dimensional way. And actually, the philosophical research says that the research is the best exercise one can do for age-old people. That is what, the last year, the inventor of lithium-ion battery, Professor John Goodenough from Texas, he was 97 years old, but still he works in the laboratory, he does research, and he interacts with the students. And he feels that interacting with young minds always help him to be young, and he is very healthy. And so he says that research is the best practice or exercise to be with good health. So that is also one aspect. So we can encourage the young faculty to incline towards research. And of course, academic institutions, they have multiple of tasks, like people are telling, they have the academic responsibility. They also have to contribute for the administrative support for the institution. So beyond that, they have to allocate some time for research. And that is what that now the industries, as I told you, whether Google or 3M or so, all these organizations or industries who have R&D domain, where they encourage people to spend at least some time sitting in the rank, coming out of their routine, and then focus on their research. And then research can be done on their own way, and there is no barriers as long as you do it independent research. For example, if you do research under a system, like you get a project for development of this product, then obviously you don't have any option to move out of that objectives. But when you have a freehand research, then you are open-minded, then you have a lot of problems. For those kind of things, you provide an opportunity to read through some good review articles, and the review articles will have a lot of open research problems, and then so when faculty can be encouraged to take up that one. Or if even the undergraduate students, if they are have the practice of giving small assignment in terms of product development, that would be a better option to develop research in the undergraduate level or in young institutions like your organizations. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor. To this question, I like to add one point, Professor.
Yeah, sure.
Dear Saravanan sir, as Jayavel sir said, the research mindset you first create, sir. Everyone can do research. First, you believe that. Second thing, see, if you choose an area that requires very extensive facilities, yes, that's a problem. But there are still many areas that doesn't require very extensive laboratory facilities. Still, you can do research. Say some kind of exploratory type of research. You listen to my talk scheduled sometime later. I will explain about that. In fact, I started my research with the keeping in mind with the facility what I have. I went to library, Anna University library, and that time I had an FDP. I have attended 15 days. I was sitting. What can I do with the existing laboratory facilities? Only those kind of areas I have chosen and given to undergraduate BE students. If you want a really quality paper, you have to start with 1 year in advance. So final year, if you give, they will leave away. So I have started giving in the 5th semester itself, so that that batch can work for 2 years and finally come out with at least a conference level paper. Sometimes the thing. So like that, it is always possible. Nothing to worry. So you have to choose an area that really supports it. Lot of appreciation, sir. And there is one question related to your domain, Professor Muthuvel. What are the recent research going on in nanotechnology? Is there anything combining with electric field?
Yeah, in fact, nanotechnology with electrical field or electrical engineering?
Electrical field, sir.
Electrical engineering. Yeah,
electrical field.
Yeah. The electrical field, now that electrical vehicles are coming, and it's a worldwide attempt. And in fact, Government of India has predicted that by 2025, at least they'll be able to transform 50 to 60% of public transportation through electric vehicles. And by 2030, they wanted to have 100% transformation. So the role of nanotechnology in electric vehicle, especially, is the energy storage area. So as I said, lithium-ion batteries, the conventional technology or mature technology which we use for the electric vehicles. But the problem with the lithium-ion batteries, we don't have lithium in India. We don't have a source of lithium. So we have to import from China or Taiwan and other countries. And already, if you just look into the national electric vehicle policy, since 2016, there is an exorbitant increase in the import of lithium-ion batteries. But from 2018 onwards, the government had some restriction. So they wanted the startup companies or local companies that develop indigenous lithium-ion battery. So now ISRO has started lithium-ion battery manufacturing, and IOL, public sector company, Indian Oil Corporation, they have their own plant coming up. There are some private partners, they also building lithium and battery manufacturing. But there are alternative technologies which is coming up, and one of the technologies was like the supercapacitors, which is useful for electric vehicles. Not only electric vehicles, it's also useful for aerospace and defense applications or high-speed trains. And those kind of energy storage technologies are now nanotechnology based. We have some kind of materials, and we are also working on that. And it was possible that we can have the energy storage almost 10 times that of the existing lithium-ion batteries, and the life of the batteries is almost 50 times. That is the kind of stability or the recycling, cyclic stability we have for this kind of nanotechnology-based energy storage system. That is one area. And another is about the grid technology. As I told, the smart grids are now coming up, and then they have a lot of components which is made up of nano, because which will have very high reliability. And for example, if you take conventional copper wire, which is useful for transmission purpose, that the copper wire will have the conductivity of almost 10 to 6 ampere per centimeter square. But we have a technology called carbon nanotubes, and which can have almost 3 orders of magnitude higher conductivity, which can have conductivity of almost 10 power 9 ampere per centimeter square. So those kind of technologies are now being inbuilt, and electronics area like that, we keep on adding a lot of things, but especially for these electric vehicles or the grid storage technology, we have a lot of input from nanotechnology. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. There is another question from Dr. M. Saravanan.
Yeah.
It's a very relevant question to the today's topic. Innovation won't come directly without facing any problem. If you want to create innovative mind among the students, what are all the initiatives an institute has to take?
So the actually the main role is institutions should have the necessary infrastructure. For example, as I told you, every organization or institution should have a 24/7 innovation hub. So the students, whether the evening time or out of office time or out of classroom times, whenever they wanted to have the access, then they should have the access of this innovation hub. And the innovation hub will have a very basic measurement facilities, right? So then the young students will have always trying to do something very messy, because ideas, they will have a lot of ideas, and the mentor's role is to shape them or to educate them that this kind of ideas will work out for this product, and this product will be useful for this industries. And those kind of directions, if our faculty is able to direct them, then it will be more productive for the young students. So basically, the faculties would have the passion to do all these kind of things. And of course, the institution has the like institution like AIOT, they have been very supportive or encouraging both for the faculty as well as students towards the innovation ideas. So now, in fact, it was started with IIT Madras. As you know, the research park was pioneered by IIT Madras. Now, in fact, all IIT Madras IITs, they have the research park. And like that, we have the regional-based sophisticated analytical instrumentation facility, which was there in IIT Madras, IIT Mumbai, and other things. But now that the government of India has come out with a new system called SATI, like Institution of Eminence, they are giving a SATI facility, which is regional based. Like, what they do is like, the SATI means Sophisticated Analytical and Technical Helping Institute. So it's almost 125 crore facility, which has already been established in IIT Delhi, IIT Kharagpur, and IIT BHU. And next year, in fact, we are also competing, Anna University is competing with that. So the purpose of establishing this facility is that the facility will be established in an institution, and the mandate is that 80% of the usage time should be outside the institution. And it should focus on MSMEs, or it should focus on startup companies, or it should focus on young institutions or young students across various institutions. They can also scatter to the FICCI or CII or ISBA, and all these organizations in and around an institutions on a regional base will get benefit out of this facility. And this facility, as I said, already been established in 3 IITs. And in fact, this year, Anna University and Jadavpur University is competing, and hopefully you will be able to go to this kind of facility. So now what you can do is, you don't have to depend on your institutional infrastructure. You can very well direct your students to contact this kind of regional facilities. As I said, it is 100% sure that 80% of the usage time for this kind of facility should be extended to outside users. Okay, so there is a lot of scope for the young students to demonstrate their ideas and creative concepts in terms of product development with these kind of platforms. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor. It's a very nice one. Dear faculty members, don't worry. There are thousands and thousands of problems are in and around us. We can able to solve. So, Government of India has come out with a scheme called Unnat Bharat Abhinayan. So, every institution has to adopt 5 villages. You go to a village, you will find every household will have got at least 10 problems to solve. I'm from a rural background. I know that thing. Say, for example, I had been to one of my relatives' house. He says, "Sir, my house has got 5 steps from the entry to the house. So my grandfather is too old. He is not able to climb that step. So every day we have face a problem. There is no provision to put a ramp also, because see, is there any solution can you able to give?" So similarly, if you go to any village, there is no proper drainage. So some simple drainage, they simply let it, and from there a lot of things breed, and so it creates a lot of problem. Like that, if you go into numerous number of issues are there. So you have to go to a customer to understand the pain. Any pain by the customer or any problem, if they say, that itself is a potential problem. Then a few days back, one of my friend came and he said there was a signal in the highway, and because of that, half an hour he's got stuck. The problem he is telling, sir, signal 30 seconds rotation in a cross like this, but this has got more vehicles to go, but they are not increasing. So, as an institution, can you give some solution to this traffic signal problem? So even I found this is the same case. I have traveled many times, but I haven't really thought about it. Like that, there are numerous problems people can able to solve. Definitely, only thing you have to look with that particular lens, or you have to go to customer and simply listen. If you have a deep dialogue with your surrounding environment, you will definitely get. Even in our campus, there will be 100 problems to solve. So next is Miss Priya from DSCET.
Yeah.
Sir, for applying funding, do we have a PhD must, or even without PhD, can we apply for funding?
Yeah. In fact, there is no restriction. There are some specific funding which is even open for master students and even PhD scholars, even without funding. In fact, the Department of Science and Technology's Women Scientists Scheme, it is open to everyone. And they give, in fact, funding up to the tune of 30 lakh for the Women Scientist Scheme. That is there in DST very specifically. And there are some kind of theme-based calls that is open to all faculty members, right? But there are some areas where they need an experienced faculty with the doctorate, but others are, it's all open, okay? So then there is no restriction, especially as far as the DST and DBT organizations are concerned. And especially for women, there are a lot of attractive schemes. You can just get into the DST or SCRB websites or DBT websites, you will be get to know that a lot of things. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Another one very relevant question to this talk, sir.
Yeah.
Susil J. Krishnan
Yeah.
has asked, as a PhD scholar in 2018, I have published a paper in this Springer or journal. Now, by utilizing this, an electrical company has developed a product and he is making good profit out of it. As a researcher, how to avoid such situations, sir?
Yeah, that's what actually when you go for publications, obviously it's an open document and everybody can just, see the methodology and they can follow. We don't have any control on that because we have given the copyright to the publisher. And so they have the open things and those kind of things better. That's what we have to protect our IPR. So if you have the patent or with IPR protection, then you have the right to sue them or right to block them using the technology. But when you go for research publication, and of course we sign a copyright to the publisher, and then we don't have any right to control them because it's all becomes open document, right? So the PhD students, like in Anna University, we encourage either publications or patents. But earlier days, what was the difficulty was, for example, as a PhD student, if you are interested in publications, then there was no option for going for patent. But now that rules has been relaxed. As a PhD students, if you publish something and then within 1 year of the date of publications, you have the right to go for patents. And if you get patent is granted, then that becomes your property. So that is what if you do something which is very relevant to industry, even instead of going for publications, better to go for patent. And for some academic reasons, if you wanted to publish part of that innovation, then you can go as a supplementary publications. But if you do publication first, within 1 year, you have to file for patents. But if you have the patent, then it's also possible that part of the work can be do it by publications with your own appellate grant. That option is now available. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Madam Padma Priya has raised the hand. Madam, we have unmuted you. You can ask your question. Padma Priya, madam. I think he has dropped the hand. Okay.
Okay.
So next question is, I think it's a very elaborate. What is meant by pattern and what is the benefit for that? I think very briefly you can say that itself is one of our topics anyway.
Yeah. Patent is basically, if you make some kind of ideas in research, then it has to be your intellectual property rights should be protected, right? So how to protect your intellectual property? Then it has to be patented. And if you have the patent, once the patent is granted, then you are the owner of the technology or you are the owner of the product. And then you can sell the license to industries or organizations, right? So the patent is a kind of ownership for your own ideas or your own products or your own technology which you develop from your experience. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I think the participant, that's why we say put your name properly. Nasamta, that's the name he or she has put. There are good number of articles, YouTube videos are there, how to patent and all. I think you can listen.
Yeah.
One more thing is, sir, we do research and publish in good quality journals with scope of citation or a web of science citation. But with that, what is the benefit for the research scholar? Is there any benefit for the research scholar?
So actually, for example, if you get a good publication, and of course it becomes part of your PhD degree. But after the PhD, like now that as the principal was telling, whether you go for accreditation or you go for national recognition, so only the quality publications are taken into account. Okay, and where quality publications with good citations will always have your individual career. And there are a lot of methodology to assess your research potential through your Scopus Index ID or Web of Science or Microsoft Research ID. So this is actually the global recognition which you get. And if a researcher gets a good number of citations, means then worldwide his research is very much recognized. That is the kind of recognition that you get. And of course, when you come to the academic stream, then there are a lot of options where you apply for some awards or some grant, and that is the benefit which you do. And being a good researcher, or if you just your research is useful for the society, so the recognition itself is a great reward for you. So you cannot expect more than that in that. So those kind of things will be self-satisfactory, because almost there is a limit for everything. So if you are satisfied with those kind of recognitions, then that is well and good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. One Miss Catherine is on the line. Madam, you can ask your question directly.
Okay, sir. So I'm Catherine. I work in the English department in Dhanlakshmi Srinivasan Engineering College, Mahabalipuram. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Sir, I would like to know what are the supporting agencies available for research? Supporting agencies.
Yeah, research we have, as I told, we have at least more than 10 government organizations in India, starting from Department of Science and Technology, Department of Biotechnology, or Science and Engineering Research Board, DRDO, Defense Research Development Organization, or DAE, Department of Atomic Energy, or Board of Research in Nuclear Science, or Department of Electronics under the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, Ministry of Environmental and Forest, Ministry of Earth Sciences. All these ministries will have the research supporting schemes. In fact, DST is the major funding source. Of course, UGC and AICT also supports for individual funding. But when it comes to DST, we have institutional level funding or infrastructure development. And the one which I was telling about, the regional based establishment of Sati facility, is actually the flagship scheme of DST, Department of Science and Technology. So if you just get into the Google it about the funding agencies in India, you get almost more than 10 different organizations they have funding. Apart from the private funding, actually the Tata Memorial Fund, they also give funding for private organizations, and Mahendra have the exclusive funding mechanism. All these IT companies, CTS, TCS, so they very much support the young students in terms of research grant. Okay, but for faculty, there is at least 10 different kinds of organizations in India. And of course, there are a lot of bilateral schemes announced by the Department of Science and Technology. You have Indo-US or Indo-German, Indo-UK. There is a very attractive scheme called India-Australia Strategic Partnership Program like that. Right? So that's all available, and there are a lot of opportunities, but you have to have a very good proposal. That is main thing. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. The proposal is useful to a very larger part of the society, that will attract more. That's something. Thank you, madam. Thanks for joining. Dear participants, the next 3 talks will be on a very elementary level, how to start research. So please do join. I think Mr. Hariharan is on the line. Sir, you can put up your question. Hariharan? Mr. Hariharan, you can ask your question. Mr. Hariharan, we have unmuted you. You have also unmuted. You can ask a question. Okay. Sir, another question from Dr. N. Selvakumar.
Yeah.
Sir, once we have an innovative idea, better go for patent or go for journal publication? Please clarify.
Yeah, innovative ideas, patent would be more attractive. Yeah. Unless you are a research scholar or you need to get the publication from journal, so general innovative product can be patent. That is the most attractive or most productive way.
Okay, sir, we are coming to short of time. We will give quick answers. Now it's a rapid firing round. Do you think science is science dominant in research more than social science research?
Yeah, of course. The science will have a lot of things, because science is mingled with the technology, and the technology is upgraded every day. So So therefore, science will have more research options than social science. Of course, there are some sectors where social science research is also more relevant. But the general science will have more relevance in terms of addressing the societal needs.
I think, in fact, there are good number of social science research, but funding when it comes to social science research, that doesn't require any infrastructure facility or laboratory equipments, sophisticated thing.
Now that the new terms called cognitive science. Cognitive science covers both social science as well as the information science or any kind of science, right?
Yeah, Madam Prema has asked, sir, I am working in Anna University affiliated college. Can I register in a private university for PhD? If we complete there, is there any difficulty?
Yeah, actually, for if you are science and humanities stream, then you have to get NOC from Anna University. But engineering stream, they don't encourage you to go for private universities. Okay.
No. Question is, she is from physics, so she has to get an NOC from Anna University.
Yeah,
and
they have to get NOC from Anna.
If it is from an engineering stream, I think there is no restriction in doing. Am I right, sir?
No restriction, but the thing is, as per UGC norms, no universities would have students from outside their territorial jurisdiction. So private universities are not supposed to take students from other universities, but if they take, then there is no issue.
They are taking, sir. Good number of people are doing.
Yeah, all are taking because it is an umbrella rule and it's open for
that. Madam, are you okay, or do you need any clarification? You can unmute and talk. Madam, is it okay?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. Yes.
Myself. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Myself. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, madam. Thank you. So I think a lot of boring Dr. Jagadishan.
Maybe you can give my email ID so that they can also write to us. No?
Yes, sir. Munivel, sir, if you have the SAR's email ID, you can just put it in the chat box.
Yes, sir.
R.JayavelDirectorCentre at Anna University, or they can get it from Anna University website. R.JayavelDirectorCentre at annanu.edu or rjvelsms@gmail.com.
Yeah, thank you, sir. One Mr. Jayalashmi has asked, sir, please share the recording link in the WhatsApp group. Madam, all research-related webinars are available in the info KIOT. You go to YouTube and just search for INFO space KIOT. You will get on the earlier lectures, including this lecture. Nowadays, patent has become a business. 20+ members joining and paying and filing. Your view about it, sir, please. Sir, nowadays some 20+ people are joining and developing something and paying and filing. What is your view? That's what. Patenting. I think patenting has become a business. Few of them join together and do patents for institutions. What do you think about it?
That is the kind of that comes under the ethical side. So. Right now, in terms of research, we talk about individual ethics or institutional ethics and all these things. And somebody develops something, and if you give co-authorship or partnership, that depends on the individual. And as long as they follow the research ethics, that is fine. Because if you have equal contribution, or at least reasonable contribution from all the members or the authors, that would be fine, but something if it goes commercially, then it depends on the individual ethical values, right?
Yeah. One last question, sir. Research journal in Tamil, is it continuing, sir?
Yeah. In fact, we are also bringing one, and there is one more. But in fact, for our case, we have applied for ISSN number. And ISSN number, there was a delay because of the COVID and other things. And this year, since March, I think we don't have the issue coming, but all those pending issues will be coming together after we get the ISSN issue. Okay.
Okay, sir. Any final note you like to add, sir?
I only wish that all the things, like if you have any doubts or clarifications, you feel free to write to me to Anna from the email, and I'll be happy to clarify if anything. And if you have any questions also, I will be coming again next Thursday for the second lecture. You can also post me those kind of questions to me.
Yeah, in that, what will be the areas you will be covering, sir?
I will be covering only for the effective writing of research papers, which will be of quality, and also, or we can title as the quality research paper writing.
Yeah, that's already title is being sent, sir. No problem. But so, dear participants, next week, Professor will talk about you have done research, but unless otherwise you write it as a quality paper, it won't be accepted by journal. So that particular issue, Dr. Jayavel will be addressing in the next Thursday.
I will also address what are the expectations from the editorial point of view.
Okay. So also how to get good citations and other aspects also we will cover. Please join next week. Thank you, Professor. Thank you, so kind of you. I think be there for 1 or 2 minutes or to Munivel for further proceedings.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir. Thank you very much for our question and answer session. Now that we are going for formal, I request Malal, please give a vote of thanks.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to all. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. First and foremost, I thank our today's resource person, Dr. R.JayavelDirectorCentre, Director, Center for Nanoscience Technology, Anna University, Chennai, for enlightening us with his commendable talk on innovative research. Thanks, sir. Also, I express my sincere thanks to our beloved principal, Dr. P.S.S. Srinivasan, the dynamic and flexible person in all academic matters, for gracing this occasion. Thank you, sir. I express my deep gratitude to our respected Vice Principal, Dr. K. Vishahavel, and Program Coordinators, Dr. C. Muniraj and Dr. N. Sandhya Kumari, for guiding us to do the right thing in the right way. Thank you, sirs and madam. I would also like to thank all department HODs for their moral support and guidance. Thank you, sirs. I express my special gratitude to the organizing team who have worked hard to ensure that this occasion becomes a memorable success. Also, I thank all the distinguished invitees present here by accepting our invitation. Thank you, sirs and madam. Thank you for this opportunity given. Thank you. Over to Muniraj, sir.
Thank you, madam. Now we are in the session. Once again, thank you, sir. Now over to Siva for ending the session.
Thank you. Thanks to one and all.
Thank you, sir. Now end the meeting.
Okay.